Electroheads, Ailish here, and do I have a tasty morsel for you today? Meet the deliciously named and delightfully dinky Chery QQ Ice Cream, a brand new mini electric car from Chery Auto that's part of a growing trend in China, and which might just help change the EV market in the West too, and give Elon Musk a ice cream headache. But first, is anybody else hungry? Ooh. Okay, that's better. Back to the car. So why would his muskiness ever be worried about a car that can't even go half as fast as a Tesla, has less luxury than a tin of supermarket-owned brand baked beans, and looks like a packing crate mounted on 4 sofa casters? To answer that, we have to go back in time to 2020, when something happened that signaled a major split in the strategies of Western and Chinese EV makers. In the West, EVs have all been about speed, power, cabin space, luxury, and well, showing off. After all, what's the point of saving the planet in your eco-mobile if people can't see you doing it from several miles away as you glide about silently, encased in several tons of steel and glass, looking down on other road users from your elevated SUV driving position, like an electric Queen of Sheba? Major brands like Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, and of course Tesla have been churning out these bulky land boats over the past few years, and the small proportion of the population who can actually afford them have been snapping them up. But hold your horses, Elon, is that really the right way to go? Research shows that in 2018, 62% of car and van journeys made in the UK were single occupancy. That's pretty bonkers when you think of how much room all those giant wagons are taking up on our roads. This award-winning advert from Saturn Motors back in 2002 beautifully illustrates how much space we're currently wasting on our roads with all these barges. And I can't help but think, aren't we missing a trick here? Now, I would just like to interrupt this broadcast and say that if you would like to spare me the cost of a tub of Ben & Jerry's, or even a vegan Ben & Jerry's if you're feeling particularly generous, there's a link in the description below and you can contribute some cash to help keep this content wheel turning. Not only do you massively help us out by continuing to do what we love, but also you will get exclusive access to content, including a Discord chat group which talks all about all the cool things that maybe you wouldn't be involved with on the YouTube channel, so get involved. Anyway, it turns out I wasn't the only one wondering if there could be a better way. Back in 2020, Chinese car maker Wuling unveiled their Hongwang Mini EV and changed everything. If that somehow passed you by, boy, are you in for a treat, because I did a whole video on it and it's right here, so make sure to click the link and check it out after this video. This tiny 27 horsepower, funny looking little car flew off the production lines and into Chinese hearts instantly. They were selling like the hottest of hotcakes, fresh from the oven, and immediately began outselling the Tesla Model 3 at such a rate that it was predicted to be the most popular electric car globally in 2021. The Model 3 did, however, keep its crown, but the Wuling has since been nipping at the heels like a battery-powered scrappy-doo. And as of January 2022, sales have passed an astonishing 500,000 units, and the Mini EV has become the best-selling electric car in China. It proved there was a huge market for a cheap, small city EV that was a world away from the ever-expanding waistlines of the Western-style electric SUVs. It was happy days at Wuling HQ and party rings and paper hats all round. But now, there is a new kid on the block ready to take on the Wuling at its own game. In late October last year, Chery Automobile announced the pre-sale of the Chery QQ Ice Cream. 15,000 were sold within the first 24 hours alone, and in December 2021, Chery also joined the table of top global sales of EVs at a very decent number 9, all thanks to this very tasty addition to the lineup: the ice cream. The ice cream will come with either a 9.6 kilowatt hour or a 13.9 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery, giving you 2 range options of either 74 miles or 105 miles in one charge. Slow charging takes 6 or 8 hours respectively, and the magnetic synchronous motor can produce a maximum power of 27 horsepower or 20 kilowatts with peak torque of 85 Newton meters. Now, 27 horsepower may not sound like much, but you have to remember all it has to move is a car roughly the size of a child's pencil case, so it's going to do the job and will allow you to hit a heady top speed of, wait for it, 62 miles per hour. Now, again, that Doesn't sound like much, and yeah, you're not going to be winning the Monaco Grand Prix in this little ice cream. But think about it. It's a city car for city driving, not eating up miles on the motorway. And when was the last time you even got up to 60 miles per hour in the city anyway? Exactly. Same deal with the range. 74 miles is fine if your work is like 3 miles away. It also comes with a parking camera. Again, ideal for slipping into those tight city parking spots. And it has an app for simple controls like locks and lights, because it's 2022, so everything has to have an app now. It is basically the law. More boringly, but probably more important to know, Chery Auto will offer a warranty on the car for 3 years or 100,000 kilometers, and a battery warranty of 8 years or 120,000 kilometers. So even if the car itself doesn't work anymore, at least you'll know your batteries are still good. Now, you may remember, because it was literally about 27 seconds ago, I said the car was the size of a child's pencil case. Okay, that's not quite correct.
It was all a lie.
Well, it's actually 2,980 millimeters long. Yes, I said millimeters. 1,496 millimeters wide and 1,637 millimeters tall. To put that into perspective, that's not far off half the length of a Range Rover and just 2/3 of the width. So it's smaller than a Range Rover, obviously, but how does it compare to its big, or rather little, rival, the Guang Mini EV, the car that 500,000 Chinese motorists are buzzing around in right now? Put them back to back, and the ice cream is a tiny bit bigger. And when I say tiny bit, I really do mean tiny. The Chery is 6 centimeters longer and just 3 millimeters wider than the Wuling. Both the ice cream and the Mini EV have comparable range and seating layouts, i.e. 2 in the front and 2 very small people in the back. But what about looks? Well, we're all familiar with the Japanese K-car concept.
Are we?
And both of these follow that square, tall, with tiny wheels ethos. The designers of both the Mini EV and the Chery QQ Ice Cream have taken one look at a cardboard box and stuck some wheels on the bottom and gone home for tea. But somehow it works. It has to be said that both are fairly similar, especially to the untrained eye. If you put these two side by side in front of my mum, I'm betting she'd think she was just seeing double again after too many Cherys. Sorry, Mum. But there are differences. The ice cream has that slightly bigger bottom lip on the front and more rounded wing mirrors. Plus, it has those oh so cute U-shaped smiley face headlights that make you just want to ruffle its hair and tickle it under the chin and say "Coochie coochie coo coo" as it purrs contently. The Chery has 6 ice cream themed colour options: mint green, coconut white, lemon yellow, sea salt blue, light lotus root and taro purple. Though, disappointingly, no cherry red. And inside you get a built-in phone stand on the dash so you can use your mobile as a sat nav, and also, I guess, the app, as well as the 4 seats and boot space when the 2 rear seats are folded down. All pleasingly neat, tidy and simple. So the big question, how much is your average Chinese motorist going to have to shell out to cruise down Electric Avenue in the QQ Ice Cream? Chery Auto offer the car in 3 trims and price points. You have the pudding at 29,900 yuan. You've got the ice cream cone at 37,900 yuan. And of course, the sundae for 43,900 yuan. That works out at around, wait for it, £3,600 for the cheapest model and £5,295 for the priciest.
That's insane.
And that, my friends, is just a fraction more than the mighty, tiny Mini EV. £133 more, to be precise, at current exchange rates. But remember, you do get slightly more car, 3 millimeters wider, remember.
Is that a lot, ladies?
The QQ Ice Cream is a world away from the EV trends in the US and Europe. The Citroën Ami is by far the closest mainstream Mini EV we have here in Europe, and people are gassing about it. So isn't it about time that car makers started thinking a little bit less about big family cars and more about the solo riders and city runarounds? One of the biggest issues around EV ownership is the initial cost. Anyone earning less than an MP salary is going to struggle to afford one. We're living in an EV world where almost every car is like a Rolls Royce, luxurious and beautiful for sure, but beyond the reach of you and I and probably anyone who doesn't have a butler. We need a version of the original Mini or the Fiat 500 to come along and bring EVs to the masses. Clearly, the demand is there for these cars in China, and if there, then why not here as well? We have cities too, and they're teeming with young, environmentally conscious would-be drivers who no longer fetishize big, powerful, raughty motors as the apex of car ownership, but simply want something they can get around in without feeling like they're choking the planet. At anything close to that price point, there'd be an overnight movement towards electric mobility. And I know, I'd be the first in the QQ.
Please stop.
That's it from me, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big fat thumbs up and hit that subscribe button because there is going to be way more content just like this coming your way. So please do subscribe and I'll see you soon.